Welcome to Courageous Leadership with Virginia Prodan, training you to lead with courage.
Hello, everyone. We are so happy you are here. We enjoy sharing and training and encouraging people to be courageous leaders wherever the good Lord placed each one of us. For many of you that listen to my podcast, Courageous Leadership with Virginia Prodan, or had seen the videos, or read the book, Saving My Assassin, you know that courageous leadership is important to me. And it's important to me because by the grace of God, I'm talking about courageous leadership from my own experience. And I love to invite people at our podcast that will exemplify and encourage you from their own life to be a courageous leader. And today we have an example of a wonderful lady who is a courageous leader in her own place where the Lord placed her. Her name is Julie Nails. Julie, I would love for you to introduce yourself to our audience and our viewers.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. And
welcome to our place.
Yes. And thank you for taking the time to encourage moms. I think moms are often an unseen group out there that desperately need encouragement. So I appreciate it so much from the bottom of my heart. My name is Julie Nails. I am the chief educator at the Nails Academy, which means I homeschool. I spent several years working in media before that, but I have 8 children, 2 who are with the Lord and 6 who I homeschool here. And I live in the Rocky Mountains, and that's who I am.
That is wonderful. Julie, please tell us. I know that before you had kids, during the time that you were just made, you became part of many organizations and you have done a wonderful work. Can you start telling us from there what kind of work you have done for those organizations?
Sure. I worked for Focus on the Family for 7 years before I went home, and I worked in managing media relations, having to do with controversial social issues and policy issues. And it really was my dream job. I thoroughly enjoyed being on the front lines in that way and dealing with media. And I managed several media campaigns there related to highly controversial issues. So that's what I did for 7 years. I loved it, really didn't want to leave, but felt the Lord calling me to a new assignment. So that's what I was doing. And it was, policy issues in Washington, D.C., and dealing with social issues that were in the headlines constantly, and working with media to put the truth out there. And that's what I was doing.
Okay, and you said the Lord called you to another assignment. Can you tell us what was the assignment?
Yes. When I got pregnant with our oldest 18 years ago, I just knew in my spirit that the Lord was wanting me to stay home. And it wasn't really something I had to pray about. I just knew it. And at that time, I was working many hours, constantly working overtime. It was not a job that was something that I could do a little bit of this and a little bit of motherhood. And so I really just knew that the Lord was calling me to go home with her. And that was a challenge because my entire world at that up until that point really revolved around work. So that is what I did. And so I did it because I knew that the Lord was asking me to do that. And And I did. So it's as simple and as complicated as that. And I would imagine a lot of mothers find themselves in that situation too.
I believe so because I raised my three kids as a single mom. I was forced that way. But I do remember when my kids were small, I used to believe that I would change diapers for the rest of my life, which is not true, you know, but that's how you
Feels like
feel.
it. Ugh.
So you keep up, and from there, you when the time for them to go to school, you decided to homeschool them.
Mhm. Mhm. I
Yes.
did. Yes, and a lot of people have asked me, "Are you gonna homeschool all the way through high school?" And, my answer really is still the same. Just every year, we ask the Lord, "Is this what we're supposed to be doing?" And so up until this point, my oldest is now a senior, and my littlest is 5. So, we have just kinda kept, plugging along by the grace of God, and that is what we have felt like he has just encouraged us to do at this point. And so every year we put it before the Lord and say, are we supposed to be homeschooling again? And so that has been our journey. So, but yes, your comment about feeling like you're going to be changing diapers for the rest of your life, with 6 and my littlest as 5, I have felt like sometimes I have been. Most of my life has been eaten up by changing diapers. And that's a reality for a lot of moms. I mean, it is not for the rest of your life, but for the time period that it is, it certainly is intense.
What To me, you were very courageous because by the time that you started, it was your first child to do homeschooling, and you continue for so many years.
Mhm.
Life was different, and resources for homeschooling were different compared with what we have today. And I can see, I can hear that what you emphasize is it wasn't your decision, and even
Mhm.
every single year is not your decision, but it's something that you ask the Lord and you receive confirmation that that's what the Lord wants you to do.
Mhm.
What would you say to young women that the culture does not help them? The
Yeah.
culture tells them that if they have a position like you, if they have a job, that they are very good, and they stay home, they are wasting their life. What would you
Yeah.
say to them?
Oh my goodness. I know where you're at. I would say the journey of motherhood has uncovered for me the fact that my identity really was in what I did. And that needed a lot of healing from the Lord. Um, so this can be an opportunity for God to uncover what is not in him and what needs to be in him. Scripture says, I am the vine and you are the branches, and that we need to abide in him, and that apart from him, we can do nothing. And that is true of anything you do in life, whether it's a job, a professional job where you're seen, or the job of motherhood, where much of the time you are not seen. So, my encouragement would be, um, the battle belongs to the Lord, because it is a battle. It's a spiritual battle that you are fighting on very severe fronts in this day and age. Your identity belongs to the Lord, and the outcome belongs to the Lord. I think there is this unspoken deal that sometimes we make with the Lord, that if we homeschool and if we go home and we raise our kids, that everything will turn out great. And that's just not the truth. Um, sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. But the battle, your identity, and the outcome all belong to the Lord, and it is in his hands. And he is bigger than the struggles we are looking at. He is bigger than the culture. He is bigger than the fact that you may feel like you don't know what you're doing. He is bigger than the problems that we have with our identity when we think that we're not enough. He is enough. We're not enough, but he is. So, my encouragement would just be, Cling to the Lord. He knows what he's telling you to do. He knows what provision he has laid aside for you around the corner that you don't see. Cling to the Lord, trust in the Lord, hope in the Lord. There is nothing else than that, really. No matter what you do, whether you're doing a job for the Lord in a professional way that you're seen, or if you are feeling like you're completely unseen in motherhood much of the time, he is there, and hope and trust in him. There is no one but him. And I know you would agree with that.
Oh, yes, I totally agree with that. I am blessed and honored that the results of everything that I put as a mother in my kids have a wonderful results. But you're right about I'm honored and privileged, and I bless the Lord that I train my kids in the Lord from a younger age, and they were strong in the Lord to go to schools like SMU, my first daughter, like me,
Mm,
Harvard Law School, my second daughter, Air Force Academy, my
wow.
son, and to graduate and to be in a business area now and serve the Lord and be a blessing to
Mhm,
others. But
mhm.
you're right. We don't have to look at the results because the results are not ours. In fact, many
Yes.
people are saying to me, "How in the world you managed to do this?" And I'm telling them the truth. I was so scared and so
Mm,
petrified that I will mess up three lives
yeah.
that I grabbed God's hand and I said, Lord, I need your help. I need
Mhm.
you to help me because a single mom, it's a very hard job to work and
Yeah.
also work as a mother all the time. So, but he did an excellent job. And even if you feel like your child is rebellious or you did
Mhm.
everything, what it counts
Yeah.
is what you invested in them at one point
Yes.
or another. The Bible tells us, train a child in the way of the Lord, and at one point they will return to the Lord. The Lord knows that,
Amen.
but it's important. What I will say, and I admire you so much, and all the mothers that are homeschooling and staying home and do those kind of things. You are molding the next generation of America.
Mhm.
Your
Mhm.
job is in God's
Mhm.
economy, not
Mhm.
more important. And I have to compare that even with a CEO in a
Mhm.
big company that doesn't know the Lord, because you
Amen.
are molding the life of next generation, and that is important. And I will encourage every
Mhm.
single mother, every mother who question, am I
Yes.
doing the right things, or seeing, comparing herself or himself, with because sometimes in our society, even men can stay home and a woman can go to work and everything. But when you compare yourself with others, and yeah, that's not a good thing. Well, like you said, your identity has to be in Christ.
Yes.
Tell us about few things that you really, really enjoy to see in your 18 years old son and the rest of your kids that you say it's worth it. No matter,
Mhm.
because motherhood is 24 hours job, is not 9. It's
Yes.
for the rest of your life. If your kids will be married, have grandkids, everything, the motherhood will continue. Tell us a few things that you will say, oh, I am so blessed to be a mother. It's worth it to
Mm.
stay home and mold my kids.
Mm. Boy, that is a good question, because I think, and a lot of moms can relate to this, I'm sure, that what you often see is where you're failing and what is discouraging. And I know that that is a plan of the enemy, too, to constantly replay that so that you will think that you're not doing anything good. And that's just not true. For the time that we are given to be parents, we have very profound influence over our children, not control, but influence. And, I'll give you one example. My 11-year-old son, we were at church, decided that he just wanted to help out some of the ushers. And I found out later from some of the ushers that they had offered him candy for having helped, just pick up trash and separate the chairs and things like that. And one of the ushers came to me later and said that my son had told them, I don't need your candy. I'm just doing this because I want to. Thank you, but I don't need that. And she said that just impressed her so much. And it was just a blessing to see somebody else blessed by my children, by my child's small actions. And this woman in the church has since just taken my son under her wing. And every time she goes to do her job as an usher in the church, she'll just bring him along, and she loves him. And so it's been such a neat mutual investment to see her love on him and him love on her. And so when you see things like that, you think, okay, maybe what I'm saying and doing is having an impact. Later, last year, one of my daughters wanted to go to a hearing for a bill on election integrity. And she wanted to go sit in on that. And things like that, where you see that that's important to them. You think, okay, this is what I am saying and doing is having an impact. But on the days when you don't have that and you don't have the stories or the experiences that you think, boy, I'm really, hitting it out of the park, you just have to sit and listen to the voice of the Lord, truly, who will tell you, keep going. I'm helping you. Don't give up. What you're doing is not in vain. Keep going. And so I think that's a message too, to my friends out there, mother friends out there who are just like, man, I feel like I'm a huge failure. You're not a failure. I feel like no one sees me. God sees you. I feel like I can't do this. I'm not as good as other moms. Every mom feels like that because the enemy will come for your vulnerabilities. He does not come for your strengths. He comes for where you are weak. The other thing I would say is the prize of any generation is the children. And that is what the culture is gunning for. You see this in every perverse and horrible thing that is marketed out there now. The prize is the children. And you, as a mom and a dad, have the highest influence right now over those children. God has gifted you. He will provide for you. He will help you. He will battle for you. Do not give up. Never, never give up. Never give up. Never give in.
Oh, that is so wonderful. We're going to end it here. It's such a powerful statement for such a courageous leader like you. And I hope that our listeners and our viewers will take it to heart that wherever God places them, He will equip them, He will give them the resources to be courageous leaders. Thank you, Julie, for coming here. We just have to end it here, but we're going to invite you again. You have so much to offer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor.
If you want to know more about Virginia Prodan, her coaching program, buy her book, Saving My Assassin, or invite Virginia to speak at your events, visit virginiaprodanbooks.com.